We hopped in the truck to take a road trip and the window motor quit working. It's only a few months old, so I suspect it's going to be pretty easy. So first I want to take a look at the pigtail and make sure it's got continuity, make sure the wires and the pins inside of this aren't broken. So we set the meter to continuity mode with beep sound enabled, and by the beeps you can tell that the wires are good and not broken. Next we'll remove the 4 screws, taking the stator off, and then remove the rotor. With the rotor out, we can check the windings, the armature, and the commutator for broken wires, dirt, corrosion, anything that just doesn't appear to be right, and this one looks okay. Next we can check the brushes and the pins that supply power to the brushes. So we have the 2 pins here that pigtail connected to, and they go to the brushes here, which make contact to the commutator, and they receive power from these pins here. You see this brush on the right, that looks like rust or corrosion. You see the one on the left, how that brush sticks out so far, and the one on the right does not? I bet this could be our problem. So next we'll try and free up that brush with the corrosion by just running it back and forth, see if there's maybe a piece of dirt in there that just needs to be broken loose, and that didn't work, so we'll go ahead and remove it and maybe clean this thing out. Water must have made its way into the motor case, causing that discoloration. And these flexible wires here do not appear to be broken, so I don't think that's our problem. And I did check continuity on those, and you see we still have spring pressure, so let's go ahead and get that spring off of there so we can then remove the dirty brush. With the brush removed from its slot, now I can try and clean up this corrosion with some light rust inhibitor. We'll just run some light abrasives in there and see if we can't get this cleaned up, and we'll go ahead and clean the brush at the same time and then dry it all off so there's no leftover residue. With that all cleaned off, we can then start reassembling. The brushes do have to be pushed back to make its way over the commutator. You could slide the brushes in afterwards, but I found this is easier. Don't have to mess with the spring. And then slide the assembly back into the motor housing while applying some sideways force back and forth on the gear to make the worm drive line up again. And with that installed, now we can put the screws back in and see if this thing works. First we'll go ahead and put the pigtail back on. And we'll plug it into the vehicle and test it out, and it does work. That was the problem. It was just a dirty brush. Some light corrosion. Perfect. That saved me from having to go buy another window motor.